A CEO, dragged naked from his own bathroom. Lethal poison, slipped into children's chocolates. And threatening letters written in childlike handwriting, sent to mock 1.3 million police officers. The year was 1984, in Japan. A nation widely considered the safest in the world, was transformed overnight into a twisted chessboard for a faceless devil. Not a single suspect was ever caught, and eventually, the statute of limitations ran out on every connected crime. This is the full story of one of the most chilling unsolved cases in criminal history. A crime that held an entire society hostage and shipped the end of Japan's Showa era. On March 18, 1984, at 9:30 p.m., two masked men armed with guns broke into a house in a quiet upscale neighborhood. They invaded the home of Katsuhisa Ezaki, president of the major confectionery company Ezaki Glico. The intruders bound his wife and 7-year-old daughter with duct tape, grabbed President Ezaki straight from his bath, and dragged him naked into the freezing night. The next day, a ransom note arrived at the home of a Glico executive. The demands: 1 billion yen in cash, and 100 kilograms of pure gold. But 65 hours after the abduction, the story took a turn no one expected. Barefoot and wearing wet trousers, President Ezaki managed to break free from his bonds and escaped by running along a freezing riverbank. The CEO had survived, but for Glico, this was only the beginning of a living nightmare. Even after his escape, the perpetrators intensified their attacks. A test laboratory at Glico's headquarters was set on fire and burned to the ground, and vehicles belonging to affiliated companies were firebombed and blown up. The criminals then sent threatening letters to supermarkets and wholesalers nationwide, warning that harm would come to any store selling Glico products. Terrified retailers pulled Glico items from their shelves, and TV commercials vanished overnight. Factories came to a complete standstill, and massive quantities of candy, equivalent to dozens of heavy-duty trucks, were removed from stores and destroyed. The total financial damage exceeded 13 billion yen. Stock prices plummeted endlessly, forcing employee bonus cuts and freezing new hiring. Glico was plunged into an unprecedented corporate crisis. Even before any poison had actually been used, the threat alone and the resulting panic had brought a corporate giant to its knees, sending shockwaves through the Japanese business world. On April 23rd, a letter arrived at a major newspaper. It contained eerie sentences written almost entirely in basic Japanese hiragana script, as if deliberately penned by a young child. To the stupid police, why don't you try and catch us? The perpetrators called themselves the Monster with 21 Faces, a name borrowed from a famous phantom thief in Japanese literature. By intentionally leaking investigation details to the media and exposing police failures, they pioneered a new form of theatrical crime, turning the entire public into their audience. The true terror of the Monster with 21 Faces lay in their ability to manipulate innocent citizens through fear. In late May, they sent a ransom demand to Nagaoka Aromatics, a key supplier of flavorings to Glico, demanding that Glico prepare 300 million yen. Around the same time, the criminals ambushed an innocent young couple out on a nighttime drive. Holding the woman hostage at gunpoint, they ordered the man, "If you want her back, drive the car and deliver the 300 million yen prepared by Glico." When the drop-off location was surrounded by heavy police surveillance, it wasn't the criminals who appeared. It was the panicked innocent man acting as an unwitting proxy to save his loved one. As police descended in confusion, the real perpetrators watched safely from a distance, before vanishing into the night. To avoid voice analysis by police, the criminals used cassette tapes to deliver instructions. When a designated payphone rang, answering it played a tape recorded with the innocent voice of an oblivious child. "Get on the train to Kyoto, and call us after passing Takatsuki Station." The chilling contrast of a child's voice issuing criminal commands sent shivers down the spines of investigators. Then on June 26th, the group suddenly declared, "We forgive Glico," ending their assault on the company. However, this was merely the beginning of a broader indiscriminate campaign, as they shifted their focus to new targets. In October, the group crossed a line of no return. Sodium cyanide was actually detected in Morinaga candies, pulled from store shelves across major cities like Osaka, Hyogo, and Kyoto. On the packaging, the perpetrators had affixed a warning label. Danger. Contains poison. You will die if you eat this. The monster with 21 faces. Sodium cyanide is a deadly toxin that deprives cells of oxygen, causing severe convulsions and rapid death from even a tiny dose. By Valentine's Day the following year, they raised the stakes even further, placing boxes labeled "No Poison Safe" alongside the poison ones. This twisted game of Russian roulette left the entire nation consumed by paranoia and panic. Morinaga sales plunged by 23 billion yen, and children's smiles vanished from candy stores across Japan. The widespread terror soon unleashed a wave of dangerous copycats. Incidents flared up nationwide, with extortionists claiming to be the monster to threaten local businesses. Then in 1985, Japan experienced one of its most tragic series of indiscriminate attacks, the paraquat poisonings. Bottled drinks were left in and around vending machines for unsuspecting passers-by to pick up. Inside was paraquat, a potent herbicide with no known antidote that causes a slow, agonizing death. Unaware of the danger, 13 innocent people drank the laced beverages and lost their lives. Pandora's box had been opened. The Glico-Morinaga affair plunged Japanese society into deep mistrust, where buying a drink from a vending machine or picking up an item on the street could mean stepping closer to death. Expanding their scope beyond Glico and Morinaga, the perpetrators turned their sights toward Marudai Food, Fujiya, and House Foods. The police were not standing idly by. In fact, they came agonizingly close to capturing the perpetrators on 2 occasions. The first encounter occurred on June 28, 1984, on a moving train during a ransom drop operation. An investigator spotted a man, observing his surroundings with an unusually sharp, piercing gaze. He had narrow, slanted eyes and a square jaw, a figure who would become the icon of the case, the fox-eyed man. The man closely tailed the officer as he exited at Kyoto Station, their eyes locking multiple times. However, police headquarters ordered officers not to arrest him on the spot, hoping instead to round up the entire criminal network at once. The man slipped away into the crowded station like smoke. The second failure occurred on November 14th, during the extortion of House Foods. Near a highway service area, a patrol car spotted a suspicious white van. As an officer approached, the van roared to life and sped off, sparking a high-speed chase down dark country roads with its headlights off, before the driver abandoned the vehicle and vanished into the darkness. Inside the abandoned van, police found high-powered radio equipment and antennas, tuned to police frequencies in real time. Due to miscommunication and jurisdictional friction between regional police departments, the officers on the scene had never been informed that a secret sting operation was taking place in that exact area that night. A golden opportunity to solve the case collapsed under internal bureaucratic error. 9 months after this disastrous failure, on August 7, 1985, Shoji Yamamoto, the former head of the Shiga Prefectural Police who had directed the field operation, tragically took his own life in his garden after retiring. It was a heartbreaking end, driven by the overwhelming burden and guilt of the failed investigation. Just 5 days after the former police chief's tragic death, on August 12th, a final letter arrived from the monster with 21 faces. Yamamoto of the Shiga police died. How manly of him. In condolence, we decided to stop harassing the food companies. With those words, the criminals vanished, never to be heard from again. The police mobilized a cumulative total of over 1.3 million investigators, interviewed 2.8 million people, and checked 6 million vehicles. It was a massive effort backed by the pride of the National Police Force, yet they failed to find a single decisive clue to the identity of the phantoms. On February 13, 2000, the statute of limitations expired for all related cases. With the National Police Force handed a complete defeat, the case was locked away forever as unsolved. Who was the monster with 21 faces? Police analysis concluded that the group was a professional criminal network, consisting of at least 6 individuals, including the Fox-eyed man, the video man, the woman on the phone, the driver, and the writer. Even today, 5 major theories continue to circulate. Stock manipulation and insider trading. This theory suggests the ransom demands were a cover, and the true goal was short-selling Glico and Morinaga stocks to profit massively as the threats crashed their stock prices. Underworld extortion and secret payoffs. This theory posits that while public drop-offs failed, the group secretly extorted massive hush-money payoffs behind closed doors from targeted corporations. Ex-police or insider involvement. Given their flawless knowledge of police radio frequencies and tactical response patterns, some believe current or former law enforcement officers led the operations. Foreign operatives. Another theory suggests the group was an espionage network, acting on behalf of a foreign power to paralyze Japanese society and economy. Corporate grudge. This theory holds that disgruntled former employees, or individuals with past labor disputes, hired organized crime professionals to carry out revenge against the companies. Though several key suspects emerged over the years, including individuals who closely matched the Fox-eyed man, not a single piece of hard evidence was ever secured. The truth remained shrouded in darkness. For a year and a half starting in 1984, the Glico-Morinaga affair gripped all of Japan in fear. While the perpetrators failed to directly collect their ransom money, they dealt catastrophic blows to major corporations, sparked copycat panics that claimed 13 lives, embarrassed the national police, and faded into the dark. Yet, the case left behind one lasting legacy in our daily lives: tamper-evident packaging. The plastic seals and shrink-wrap packaging we see today on food items were born directly out of this tragedy. Every time we safely buy snacks at a supermarket or convenience store, we are relying on lessons forged during the reign of that faceless phantom. The monster with 21 faces was never caught. They simply walked away into the shadows beyond the statute of limitations, laughing in the dark.